Hello, it's Jang here with a look at the McFarlane Toys Game of Thrones Iron Throne Room set. Would you believe that this set right here is made of a bunch of building blocks, little plastic pieces and plates and such, or some of the spare pieces that came with the set. This comes with 314 pieces that you have to put together, and the end result is pretty spectacular. Of course, not all of the pieces are just rectangular blocks and plates. They do have quite a number of specialized pieces that they make for these sets, but there's good old Joffrey in the Iron Throne. I am not sad that he is gone from the series, but this all comes pre-painted like this. I have not done any alterations. I've just built it according to the spec, according to the instructions. The throne itself is made of multiple parts. You can start to see some of the seams just around the back just a little bit, but I think this is about I want to say 7 or 8 pieces or so that went together, layering both front to back, top to bottom, and things actually coming together from the sides as well. I think it looks pretty dang good. My favorite thing actually is how they did the brick texture in the back here. That's just a really interesting new part technique, new assembly technique. They use a bunch of these panels, which have been common in the construction toy world, this kind of design, but each of these has in front of it another insert, and they have all these different configurations of inserts to give you different patterns that overlap. It's really well done. It's a proper building experience, but like I say, the end result is well worth it, and does not look like a traditional building toy sort of system. This is definitely model kind of quality, but easy to put together. You know, you just follow the instructions and everything really does just snap together. And that is a very large piece in the background. It's actually slightly frosted. You can see it better like that, frosted on one side. Has a little bit of a tint on it, and all of this grating is mostly one piece with the colored glass little pieces. It's an insert that you put in there. I also like how they did the torchieres. So there's just a small little candle holder there, but there's a whole torchiere set, and it has 2 different sizes of half-spent candles on it. This whole thing is built up upon a rod. You see it's a little bit off kilter right now. The center rod is a fairly flexible piece, and just from how the parts settle in the package, it would end up getting a little bit bent, but you can straighten that out a little bit better than this. But just really nice level of detail around there, and I like the coloration. Another thing that I like on this set, yes, there are many things that I like on this set, but this new marbling pattern. There are actually 2 different marble styles that are used here, with this darker color, and then this almost like a harder sandstone looking texture. Just 2 really good looking textures that are done, I think, completely automatically. You know, they're not done by hand in those cases. Some of the details here are applied by hand, but most of this stuff is not, and it looks pretty realistic for something that's just mass produced. So yes, I am very happy with this so far. Take a look at it from the back. Well, not quite so impressive. It's really not intended to be looked at from any side other than the front. They do bring the base of the columns around here just a little bit, and there you can see each of these is one of these panel pieces like this, turned around, and there are some bricks that are kind of interlaced in between there. This pretty much shows you how the whole thing is put together. The figures are mostly designed just to be posed in a single pose each. And this is an example of hand-painted detailing. You know, it's done quickly. It's not done with ultimate care, but still, you can see the belt buckle. You know, it's in the right place, and you know, there's not too much overlap of different textures and things. I think it actually came out quite good. They don't put any actual coloration in the face, though, and this one doesn't have any wash in the face, so they didn't get too much detail out of that. But the mold itself is good enough that it gets some shadow in there. Almost gives you the feeling of eyes actually being there. Not too dead looking, all things concerned, or all things considered. And you see some more of that gold pattern that's just, I guess, dry brushed on there. comes out, pulls out the details pretty well. The only things that you can really change on this are the angles of the arms. That can be moved up, so you actually could do that. That might be a useful pose just a little bit, but for the most part it's really just designed to be on the throne itself. This Kingsguard here has a fantastic color. That metallic is a very high metallic, very, very reflective color, or mix of colors. Just a little bit of champagne, a little bit of yellowishness added to it. It's mostly like a chrome flake silver, and I think it just looks phenomenal. It just has a really high quality finish to it. The fit and finish of the figures is okay, but it's not 100% consistent. In this case, I had a little bit of trouble getting the head on there, and it's actually leaning a little bit more forward, I believe, than it's supposed to be, based on what I saw on the box. It's just the parts are just so tiny and so thin that any small little manufacturing tolerance can really have a major effect in a bad way on these, because they don't have much space for kind of having errors there. This is a painted piece for the whole cloak going down the back. You do place the sword on there separately, sword and scabbard together. The arms are separate pieces that get placed together, and you do pose the hand onto the hilt of the sword like that. And the arms can be rotated up and down, but there are no joints for the elbows or anything. But see, I can bring this up, but that's really just the limit of it. And you do want to kind of mess around to make sure that the shoulder doesn't separate itself out. A bunch of pieces are used here, but there's not a whole lot of posability to any of these figures. Just as a display piece, though, this is really nice. I could easily see a fan who wants to have just a small little representation of something iconic from the show, from the story. They can easily get their hands on this and fit it into a small space on a shelf. And the building experience is nice. This could have been done as just a diorama that would just be sold in a box, but I feel like it adds a lot to the experience of owning this, to have put it together. I'm genuinely impressed by this thing, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts about it, including if you don't like it at all. Feel free to share your opinion as long as you're respectful about it. So thank you in advance for your feedback, and I will talk to you again very soon.